For years, they've been called illegal. Now the government says they're essential. That's the confusing reality for at least half of the 2.4 million farm workers who plant and harvest our food here in the United States.
No me siento que esencial como en realidad lo dicen porque no tenemos los mismos privilegios.
Many produce pickers are working under grueling conditions with few safety measures in place. And that was already a problem even before hundreds began testing positive for coronavirus in farms across the country.
Yo tengo miedo porque tengo que trabajar, no tengo otra opción.
After 13 years working in the fields of Southern California, Carmelita still does not have legal status in the US. And because of that, she cannot even think about signing up for basic benefits like health insurance, and she doesn't qualify for a stimulus check from the federal government. Overcoming these kinds of challenges isn't anything new for Carmelita. What's different is that now she's terrified of getting sick.
Yo lo estaría llevando a mi casa, lo estaría llevando con las personas con que vivo, a mis hijos, y pues el temor es más por ellos, por mis hijos.
By mid-May, a vast majority of farm laborers around the country say they had still not received masks, gloves, or any other protective equipment from the companies they work for. Carmelita had been taking her own precautions. But many of her co-workers didn't believe or understand the outbreak, so keeping social distance has been difficult.
Al platicar yo con ellos, pues ellos expresan de que no es cierto, que no sienten tener miedo. Algunos de ellos me decían que nosotros los mexicanos no pasa nada porque nosotros comemos picante y cuando comemos picante no nos va a pegar la enfermedad, dicen.
With peak harvesting season already underway, farm worker advocates fear that negligence and lack of education could lead to a major outbreak. That, in turn, could further disrupt an already fragile supply chain and leave empty shelves in grocery stores.
We're treated as essential workers right now because if we don't do this kind of work, the United States is not going to have food in supermarkets, food to feed the nation.
One doctor from the same county Carmelita lives in has been trying to help. Tipu Khan has been going from farm to farm, educating workers about the virus.
They live in our community, they function in our society, so we want to get into them and really help them be safe. Just trying to provide basic medical education on how to keep the infrastructure of our society safe, to keep the rest of society safe.
Not all farms have welcomed him, but he says some are taking steps to protect their workers. Good Farms, which hires domestic workers and international workers with temporary work permits, is putting hand wash stations in the fields.
Part of the work that we're having to do is to not only look at the work, but also interface with our teams in both their personal lives and the lives of their families.
California leads the nation in growing produce and is home to 400,000 farm workers, of which an estimated 50% are unauthorized. In mid-April, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced a one-time COVID-19 relief payment of $500 per adult to approximately 150,000 unauthorized immigrants. He also said that farms and other food industry businesses must give workers an additional 2 weeks of COVID-19 sick leave. That would make a huge difference for Carmelita, who says her company normally only gives 3 sick days per year.
Si no trabajo, pues no puedo pagar renta, no puedo pagar biles.
More sick leave right now would help with the current situation. But this kind of work can be backbreaking at the best of times, say advocates. And the challenges for America's undocumented farm workers and ultimately its food supply remain. When Carmelita finishes her 12-hour shifts picking strawberries, she heads to her 2 children at a rented room in a mobile home.
Todo el tiempo estamos de la casa al trabajo y del trabajo a la casa, porque uno no en realidad no tiene más tiempo ni le alcanza para más.
She dreams of the security that legal status would bring.
Puede tener una casa, ya se puede decir que uno lo alcanza, el sueño americano, que pueda tener una estabilidad económica y legal dentro de este país.
But the options for applying are limited, and it can be very expensive. The pandemic has only made it harder. President Donald Trump has used the outbreak to suspend most legal immigration. Temporary guest worker programs have continued to protect the food supply. But those programs only cover 10% of farm workers in the US. And it doesn't help Carmelita, since she's been here without legal status for more than a decade.
Yo le digo a Trump que si él no quiere que seamos inmigrantes, pues que firme el acta de la tarjeta azul para que nosotros podamos tener el privilegio, para que nosotros podamos ser legales también dentro de este país y que nos deje trabajar, sobre todo.
The Blue Card is part of a law proposed by Democrats in 2017 that would give agricultural workers the right to work and a path to permanent legal status for them and their families. Carmelita's sons were born in the US, making them American citizens.
Ahorita lo que me motiva de trabajar tan duro es para sacar a mis hijos adelante, para que ellos tengan una mejor vida de la que yo he tenido. No pretendo darles todo tampoco, pero cuando menos pues que tengan una mejor educación de la que yo tuve y que tengan menos posibilidades de andar como campesino.
Still, she feels proud of the work she does.
Somos quienes estamos cosechando los productos, frutas, verduras, para que lleven a la mesa de las personas que se tienen que quedar en casa.